Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Descendants of the Sun, a South Korean television series from 2016 that is a hybrid of romance and thrills. It is 16 episodes long, with each episode being approximately 60 minutes in length each. Now this K-drama has four main characters. The two leads are a captain, played by Joong-ki Song, who attempts to court a surgeon, played by Hye-kyo Song. Our secondary characters are a sergeant, played by Jin Goo, and an army doctor, played by Ji-won Kim, who have their own little romance going on. Now at the beginning of the show, the surgeon becomes entangled with the other three characters when a thief is apprehended and injured, prompting them all to meet at the hospital to sort things out. Now soon after that, certain events transpire that essentially forces the surgeon to participate in a peacekeeping mission in a foreign country, along with the other three characters. Now, unfortunately for them, that country has some volatile circumstances surrounding it, which will test their skills as well as their relationships. That's the basic gist of things. Now, one thing that sets Descendants of the Sun apart from a lot of other K-dramas is the setting. Because much of the series is set in a fictional foreign country, and the producers chose an interesting mix of locations. I looked this up. They filmed at the Taekbaek Hanbo coal mine in South Korea, the Samtan art mine in South Korea, Camp Greaves DMZ Experience Center in Paju in South Korea, and the Zakynthos shipwreck in Greece. So the Korean locales are meant to feel foreign, and they are successful at doing so. There's some pretty cool sets in this. I found the environments to be refreshingly different for a K-drama, and it makes the show feel expansive and international. So I like that part. I like that. Now, casting choices were very good. I enjoyed the performances of the main cast in this. I'm not that familiar with Joong-ki Song. I have seen and enjoyed him in Werewolf Boy, which is better than you might think given the title, and some other stuff, but there are a few notable K-dramas that he has appeared in and or starred in that have been on my watch list for a while. I've been meaning to watch Sun Kwon Kwan's Scandal and The Innocent Man for years, so I definitely need to check those out soon, because this guy left a good impression on me. There's always a chance in a film with this type, or a K-drama or film with this type of, I guess you could say, premise, that the producers would cast some flimsy-looking K-pop star as the lead, as like a captain in the military. But Joong-ki Song looks tough enough to take down some bad guys. He portrayed himself right from the opening 10 minutes as someone who could handle himself in a fight, and that's important for his character. And if you take a counterexample, the Korean film Secretly Greatly, which I found to be moderately entertaining stuff, did not impress me, though, with its casting choices, because the three dudes they got for that film looked like wimpy male models who would, get their rear ends handed to them in a fight. So that was a little bit distracting while watching that movie, but Descendants of the Sun did not make that mistake in its casting choices. So I liked this guy. And one interesting fact is that Joong-ki Song had his first acting role after serving in the Korean military in Descendants of the Sun. So he served his mandatory, I guess you could say, enlistment in the Korean military for a few years, and then came back to acting and went to this K-drama that involves a lot of military stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. So at least he has some real-life experience to kind of bring into this. Now, the second male lead is played by Jin Goo, who, again, not a familiar name, but you've seen this guy. He was in A Bittersweet Life as a supporting character, A Dirty Carnival as a supporting character, and Mother. And I always like seeing him and stuff. He's a likable actor. And, of course, I'm a big fan right now of Ji-won Kim after rewatching the first Horror Stories films, the first two Horror Stories films, and the K-drama Fight My Way. She's one of the main reasons I watched Descendants of the Sun. To no one's surprise, she's really good in this. But as the supporting female lead, she does tend to disappear at times for stretches of time, but not a big problem in this case because our female lead, is played by Hye-kyo Song. And I got to be honest with you, I kind of forgot how well this woman can hold the screen. She has some really good charisma and screen presence. And, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of her movies, a few of which are pretty good, of course. And I have not seen her in a K-drama since, back in the day, man. When I first started watching K-dramas about 10 plus years ago, I watched Autumn in My Heart, Full House, All In, and Hotelier. And she was great in all of those, but it's been so long since I've seen those that Descendants of the Sun was a kindly reminder that she's a very good actress. She has a lot of balance in her performance, and it helps to create a multidimensional character. So I was okay with Ji-won Kim having less screen time than I expected going into this, because Hye-kyo Song easily carried, the show on her own anyways. And that's one of the benefits of watching South Korean films and television. That industry has an unusually deep pool of female acting talent. It's impressive. Now, the romantic relationships in this K-drama were developed quite well. And that's especially true of our main couple. I liked how the problems with the blossoming relationship are foreshadowed as early as episode 2. The fact that this guy is in danger a lot of the time, and the fact that he's on notice a lot of the time and could get called away on assignment any minute. It creates problems for a relationship. And, it automatically creates a practical romantic dilemma that acts as the foundation for the entire show. And it's effective at doing that. In addition, Hye-kyo Song and Joong-ki Song married in real life in 2017. So there must have been a little real life sparks while filming this K-drama. You can't fake the feels, people. There was some stuff going on here, and it might have come through in their chemistry. Now, do I have any problems with Descendants of the Sun? Actually, I do. I do have some. It involves the non-romantic conflicts. A variety of different crimes and rescue operations arise in this foreign country during our character's peacekeeping mission. Now, I do like the variety of conflicts because it creates a certain unpredictability. You know what I mean? You're not really sure what the next conflict is going to be. And that's good. But it also feels at times like these events come from out of nowhere, which eliminates any sense of anticipation or suspense. And there are some very important events that occur at certain times that only get a minute or two of screen time devoted to them. There should have been entire sequences or episodes dedicated to some of these events, especially some that occurred down the stretch. Now, to be fair, there is one event in the show that was appropriately shown as abrupt, because in real life, something like that comes from out of nowhere. But the response to that event had multiple episodes dedicated to it. So although the event had an abrupt appearance, the characters were forced to deal with it for quite a while. And I like that. It was probably the best obstacle that was used in the show, and I'm intentionally being obscure about it because I don't want to spoil it for you. But I have to say that the latter episodes, do have some important events that seem a bit rushed, you know what I mean, and too abrupt, which creates some problems that are not emotionally impactful as they should have been. Also, the ultimate resolutions to some of the conflicts down the stretch were not that exciting. Descendants of the Sun opens episode 1, first 10 minutes, with a cool knife fight. You know what I mean? But it's the best action scene in the whole show. So, even though there were dozens of opportunities for some exciting action throughout, there's a few good moments later on. I don't want to say there's nothing good, but it's not as good as that opening 10 minutes, I don't think. And that was a little bit of a problem for me, considering the plot of the show, which kind of lends to having action in it. And especially considering the fact that South Korea has proven, historically, that great action scenes, can be done in a K-drama. I mean, Iris from 2009 and Athena, the Goddess of War, 2010 being two examples. So, yeah, the conflicts and the generally underwhelming action are what prevented this show from being one of my favorite K-dramas. But I still definitely recommend Descendants of the Sun. Very enjoyable show, and it's also one of the most popular from recent years, so if you're into this kind of stuff, you probably should watch it. It's currently available on Netflix streaming in the United States. It's also available on Viki and Drama Fever, so check this one out. It's good. And as always, we will see you next time.